So a lot of people today have been talking about ye olden ESports Awards, and I figured that's probably the next thing we should talk about. I don't really pay that much attention to it, so I'll be very transparent about that. I don't really know who runs either. So now there's a new awards thing, the ESports Awards of the Year. And on this, there's a list of players. And I think the only person that's nominated that I can think of from fighting games is Sonic Fox. He's nominated for Console Player of the Year. Tweak and MKLeo are not on that award. They are on the Rookie of the Year. Now, the thing that's confusing to me, they've nominated like Sonic, and then they nominated like some Smash players from both Melee and from Ultimate. And then for, Rookie of the Year, even if it's somebody who's been playing a while, I think the idea for Rookie of the Year is someone who's like, this is their breakout first year where they showed up, right? First of all, they have MKLeo and Tweak on there. That's so weird. They've been competing for forever, right? These are long time, like, competitive Smash players who played all through Smash 4 for forever. So it's weird to include them in that section of the awards list, right? It's a weird inclusion. Also, people were upset that there was no Arslan Ash on Rookie of the Year, particularly because Arslan Ash showed up this year and won EVO Japan and EVO for Tekken 7, like just beating all these players who have been dominant for like 10 plus years or whatever, right? And then there's some people who are defending it by saying like, well, to be fair, Smash Ultimate's a new game, so that's why, they're Rookies of the Year, because Smash Ultimate's brand new. I'm like, okay, well, when Street Fighter 6 comes out, I nominate Daigo Umehara for Rookie of the Year for Street Fighter 6. Fucking let's go. Let's get Daigo to win Rookie of the Year. For Rookie of the Year, there's probably other people you could have nominated that are newer to either the Smash or fighting game community, right? But maybe they just don't know the community that well, so they don't know who to nominate, or maybe they don't know who to ask to know who to nominate, which is not that unexpected. But if you're gonna do an award show for something like this, if you're not willing to put in the time and effort and research, then that's what's gonna happen. I also saw that people were upset because on the Esports Caster of the Year award, there's no Dota people. The only Dota person for Esports Caster of the Year is Casey. And if you don't know who Casey is, she is an interviewer that does TI every year. And the reason she does TI every year is that she's a local Seattle reporter. And when TI used to happen in Seattle, she got brought in to be like an interviewer. And she showed up, and she's awesome. She's such a ball of energy and happiness that everybody loved her. So they started just having her for every TI. The problem is she's not an esports caster. And she's the only Dota rep in the Esports Caster of the Year. And when everybody was like, where's all the Dota people? Thorin responded and was like, well, I asked Dota people who should be in here, and nobody ever responds to me. They all don't give me the people who should be on here when I ask who should be it, so fuck them. And it's like, can you imagine justifying having a bad selection for something by saying, it's your fault? It's your fault you didn't help us with the research. We shouldn't have to do the research ourselves. We should be able to ask you, and you should be able to give us feedback and work with the community. The fact that the community doesn't want to work with us means that fuck it, we'll just fuck it all up. Sounds like a professional esports reporter to me. Church says, yeah, I mean, Sadokist is on the ballot and working majors after dropping the hard R on stream. Damn. Time to get qualified, boys. Here we go. Cheers. This is our final day on Twitch. Time to get canceled. The way to move on up in the world is to be racist. Here we go. The funny thing is that there's almost no fighting game people listed at all besides Sonic Fox for Console Player of the Year. And I saw a response that was great. That was like, well, fighting games don't even consider themselves esports, so why should they even want to be on this list or whatever? And it's like, okay, look, you put a fighting game player, you put multiple fighting game players on the list. If you're going to go and put fighting game players on the list, just like if you're going to go and put Dota players on the list, you should do your best to just list people that actually make sense, right? Just like I should do my best to thank Vale Hin for dropping the Twitch Prime. Thanks very much. Okay, well, if we don't want to be esports, then just don't include fighting game players on the list at all, right? If you don't have an informed opinion about who should be on the list in the fighting game scene, because no one in the fighting game scene wants to tell you, or fighting games aren't esports, then don't include a fighting game player, right? That's all there is to it. If you don't feel like fighting games are esports, or if you personally work on the panel and you hate fighting games, you say, fuck fighting games, I don't even like fighting games, then just don't put them on there. And just tell people, we fucking hate fighting games, we're just not gonna put them on there. That's perfectly fine. Just tell them. Oh my God, this website sucks. All right. Esports Game of the Year. Wow, Street Fighter V is listed as the only fighting game. They didn't put Tekken? Come on, guys. Esports Publisher of the Year. Capcom. Is it just because they have Street Fighter? Console Rookie of the Year. This is where everybody wanted Arslan Ash to be, right? Especially because the Smash scene has Tweak and MKLeo, two people who have been competing and traveling for these games, for Smash games since Brawl. Even if you don't know about the Brawl history, in Smash 4, MKLeo was like the second best player for forever, second or third. Like he was like a top 3 player for forever. And Tweak was like a top 10 player in Smash 4, formerly a Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Bayonetta, and Cloud player. So you know that he's not a rookie and he's been a top 10 player last year. Somebody who's a top 10 player last year can't be considered a rookie the next year, right? I honestly don't know how the classification for the award works, so maybe there's something I don't understand here, but that doesn't seem to make any sense. To be honest with you, I think like this whole thing is happening and it'll probably be interesting for a lot of these people who, and it'll probably be cool because somebody in here is going to win Esports Caster of the Year and they're going to feel great. And somebody's going to win Esports Coach of the Year and they're going to feel great. And if you're a fighting game fan, this is probably not even something that comes up or you even really think about it. So at the end of the day, it probably won't affect or matter to me or you or most people in the fighting game space. Oh, the Monty tweet. Which one is this about fighting games? I almost responded to that tweet and said, whether fighting game fans are uninterested or not, if you include fighting game players on the list, you know, you've already gone out of your way to pick somebody. Why don't you make sure to pick people who actually make sense and are qualified for the award? So then you're like, well, maybe they didn't do their research and they don't know enough about fighting games to know who should be nominated or whatever. And then you look at their Twitter and it says esports historian who knows all things about esports. And you're like, oh shit, well, he must know. The thing is that there's almost no point arguing with tweets like that because like the thing is you can make 9 really good points to someone like that. And then one person makes one bad point and they're going to quote tweet that person and be like, look at this fighting game community. These people are horrible. And all of their X or Y amount of followers will be like, oh God, it's the playbook, man. You guys can't fall for the playbook. Yeah, just don't worry about it. It's insane how much money people are being paid to be so publicly stupid. To be fair, these tweets is not what's making them money. This is just what they do for fun. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, just let him hate fighting games. Who cares? I mean, even if he's wrong as shit. Who cares? The thing is that in the fighting game community, we have plenty of people who are wrong as shit about our games already. I already have to try to convince fighting game fans that you should have better netcode. Already I'm trying. And I can't even convince fighting game fans that they're wrong about fighting games. Me. You would think that I would know something about fighting games. Who's on the panel for that? I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if I was on a panel for something like that, I would probably not want myself to be listed on the... They are? Wait, they actually are? Or are you messing with me? Thorin and Monty are actually on the panel to see who gets voted in? You're fucking with me, right? No, I didn't. That's a joke, right? That's not actually real. They're actually on the panel and then just nominated themselves? That's the best thing I've ever seen. That's so smart. These motherfuckers are so smart. They're smarter than you and they're smarter than me. They're the smartest people on the planet. You're telling me that they make the panel for the fighting game or for the Esports Awards of the year and then they nominate themselves? That is such a humongo brain strategy. I honestly didn't know that that's who was on the panel. That's the best thing I've ever heard because I was just saying that I feel like if you're on the panel, you shouldn't vote for yourself to be nominated, or if you're on, whoever puts together the panel should probably not be allowed to be nominated on there, Because like in fighting games, we used to have the Canon Award, and the rule for the Canon Award was like, because it was James Chen's idea or something, James Chen couldn't win it. But this is a way better idea. Why not just host the awards, make the panel of people, put yourself on the panel and the nominated person? That's so smart. Who else would be capable of determining if they should be nominated but themselves? Like if I was on the panel, I'd be like, fuck yeah, put me in there, bud. Fuck yeah, bud. I've been crushing it all year. Put me in, coach. On my award show, I would definitely nominate myself for best hair. I'd clean sleep. I'd just crush the competition. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't get why people are so torn up about this award show, to be honest. They're all on the panel together. They all work on it together. They nominate themselves. They have a large fan base who enjoys what they do. They all get to win awards. At the end of the day, they cheers it up, and it's a great time. It's not going to affect me or you very much at all, is it? An FGC award show? Damn, the saltiest award would be a fun one. Can you imagine winning the saltiest award and having to come up to the stage and accept it? And the saltiest player of the year is, and you just have to walk up there and be like, look, bro, I'm not that fucking mad, okay? Spike the trophy and just walk out. Everybody's clapping. They're like, oh, man. That's definitely the saltiest player of the year. What would even be the categories of a fighting game show? What would we even do if we had a fighting game award show? Most likely to change the console to 720p from 1080p. Most likely to forget to desync their controller. Best losers run. Netcode of the year. Best tournament of the year. That's a good one. Best tournament of the year. Worst tournament of the year. Ooh. Best unconventional controller. It's like between the Guitar Hero controller and initial fucking T and fucking whatever. Best Yipes impression. It's like all of his impressions and what's like his K-Brad impression, his Punk impression, his Sonic Fox impression, F-Champ impression, the Chris G impression, which it's the IFC Yipes impression of the year. Best Twitter, I nominate Jay Wong. Don't you do this. The best Hanzo Gonzo tweet of the year. The best airplane selfie when going to a tournament of the year. That's good. The best Tasty Steve arm grab of the year. Is it him squeezing Rip's collarbone, him grabbing my arm? Who else has he beat up? The best Sajam of the year. It's Sammy Fish, Jake Ryan, Giuna, Ultra David. Who's the last Sajam I'm missing? No, I'm not on the list. Brian F, maybe? I'm not on the list. Hell no.